everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Marya, Shakil. The Taliban is back in control of Afghanistan. It took them just over a week to invade the country with the withdrawal of US forces after a 20-year war. The Biden administration is standing by its decision, much to the relief of millions of families in the United States. But it has invoked fear in the hearts and minds of millions of Afghan nationals who remember the dread and iron fist of the regime, namely the women of the nation who were brutalized by the terror group. Here is a glimpse of the lives women had in Afghanistan before the return of the Taliban. I'll ask my producer to play that. Are back from 2019 of Afghanistan's first and only female orchestra. They were singing about Ummeed or hope. But under the jackboots of the Taliban regime, they will not be allowed to sing and will be confined to their homes or perhaps worse. As per reports, the Taliban has asked local religious leaders for a list of girls above 15 and widows under 45 to be married to their fighters. Reports are coming in from across Afghanistan of women not being allowed to go out to the market without a male escort, being stopped and lashed for wearing revealing sandals, and barred from studying and working. For the past 20 years, women in Afghanistan have served in the civil service and in the parliament. The Taliban has said they will be allowed in the government system, but as per the Sharia law, which is no real freedom. Some brave women are continuing the fight. Tolo News, one of the nation's biggest news networks, in fact, resumed their broadcast with female anchors. In fact, female presenters of the channel for the first time in history interviewed Taliban spokespersons on the channel and reported on the ground over the situation in the war-torn Kabul. Some even demonstrated on the streets of Kabul demanding involvement in the politics and governance and economy of the nation, as they have been the stakeholders till now. These may be heartening signs, but just like the visuals of the female orchestra, are they really the final glimpses of everything women have achieved in Afghanistan over the last 20 years? Are we staring at the end of Ummeed or hope for the women of Afghanistan? We have an all-women panel, and these are women of Afghanistan. Joining me first on the show is Farzana Kochai. She is a member of parliament. Zohra Bahman is a country director for Search for Common Ground in Afghanistan. She is presently in Dubai, trying to find her way to Kabul. We have Diva Patang. She is an RTA cricket presenter and businesswoman joining me from London. I'm going to begin with you, Farzana. What does it mean to be a woman in Afghanistan today?
Common people like women and girls, all of them are afraid and just not so clear that what will happen to them in the future and how their future would be like they have no clear concept of what the future would be for them, and they are afraid of the things that could happen suddenly and unexpectedly. They have fears of these things, and it's absolutely normal. They should have, because we know what happened in 20 years back.
What about your family and friends, Farzana? We heard from the Education Minister, Rangina Hamidi, who in fact spoke to the BBC, where she said that there is a sense of betrayal and disappointment among the Afghanis. Tell us more about yourself. How was it like 48 hours ago, and what are your sentiments today?
The thing is, I have fear about me and my family, and my nephew and nieces and all the women and the small girl of Afghanistan too. But the thing is that we can't escape. All of us, we can't escape. We can't leave this small girl of Afghanistan like in this situation, we as a politician, as an MP, as a minister, as a deputy minister, as a whatever role we were playing in the government of Afghanistan or not in the government in society, we need to continue that at least until the Taliban say us to stop that. So we have to be a moral for all the women of Afghanistan here. We can't live and we can't leave them like the president left us. So I personally am admiring those who are not able to be in the society and afraid, and they are trying to leave the country. I admire their decision.
Okay. Admire you, Farzana, what you said. You decided not to abandon these young girls. Is there also a sense of abandonment, particularly among young girls and women, with the president leaving the country in the middle of the crisis and clearly pushing the women into the dark days?
Yes, of course, there is hopelessness just got to every Afghan, not just women and girls, but especially those who are vulnerable. So they are so afraid, and a feeling of loneliness and just being used or being hopeless just happened to all of us. It broke our heart that president left and the team left, and the negotiation just, I don't know, is it collapsed? Is it ongoing? Is it will end to a settlement or what? So we used to be there, but we need to be strong and be stronger for Afghan women and girls here.
Absolutely. You have to be strong for the girls because you are a source of inspiration for them. Diva, coming to you, I'm looking at this tweet that you put out. Your tweet talks about an incident with your family. And then you raise the question of whether the Taliban has changed. Is that a question that is coming too soon, Diva?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I think it is too soon to find out what's going to happen next, or how much Taliban has actually changed, or have they really changed or not. But what I'm hearing from my families back there, especially yesterday, they were telling me that they went on the streets to see what the situation is, and what they have informed me about is that the city was very quiet. People were walking, they felt very secure. They didn't have the fear that anything will happen that to their life. Like before, they used to think that any time a suicide attack can take place, or their mobile phones can be robbed, or they can be kidnapped. They felt very secure, and they were also felt that the Taliban were very respectful. Their vehicle were stopped. They were asked politely. They were apologetic at the beginning, and then asking them questions, where you going? But nothing horrible. That how they used to be in 1996. People think that they have changed, but it's very early to predict, to be very honest, at the moment. Is this something temporary? Is this an order that has been given to them temporary to not make people afraid? Or this is something that they will actually do to and keep doing it the way they're behaving with the people at the moment.
What's your family telling you?
They are looking forward. They think that it might be that good changes might be coming. They think that people were really tired with the government of Afghanistan. I know that the president has fled the country, which made a lot of people very, very disappointed. I myself, I was a very strong supporter of the president. Never thought that he will leave in this way and leave a legacy as such in the history of the country. So nobody could believe that. But a lot of people were at the same time, they were couple of people in the government that people were really tired and frustrated. They didn't want to, even just looking at their faces, people were getting angry. So a lot of people are happy that at least they're not in the government anymore. But at the same time, there's a panic. They're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. If the Taliban are coming, will there be a power sharing? Is everybody will have a life, a normal life like they used to have before? Will women be able to go and work?
Yes.
I myself, myself, I'm not myself sure if I would be able to go back to Afghanistan like I used to go and present in the cricket stadium amongst 99.9% of men. Will I be able to do this? These are the uncertainties. These are the questions that we're asking. But I think it's very early to be able to have answers to this. Taliban, even at the moment, from close sources, they are trying to, they lost, not lost their way, but at the moment they also not sure of how exactly they need to handle this situation. This is how a lot of people are actually thinking. But yes.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, but let me get a word also from Zohra Bahman. She's in fact stuck in Dubai now. She had traveled outside Afghanistan for some work. She's in fact the country director for Search for Common Ground. Zohra, tell us about yourself and what is really happening on the ground. What are you picking up? Is your organization in fact functional on ground? Give us a sense what is happening.
Thank you for having me on your show. We are all shocked, as everybody else is, with the rapid changes in the Afghanistan's security and political environment. Our organization, Search for Common Ground, works on peacebuilding, so it has experienced similar situations elsewhere in the world. So we're not that inexperienced, but still we are very shocked. We are functioning on the ground. It's very essential that we at any given moment in a country's history, we see not only the challenges, but also the opportunities to build peace. And that's what we are focusing on at the moment in Afghanistan.
Okay, we are getting reports of several girls, in fact, tearing their or burning their education certificates. In fact, a CNN journalist was reporting from the ground when she was asked to stand aside because she's a woman and because women are not supposed to step outside their homes without a man. There is a palpable sense of despair as well. Is that what you sense and what you are being told?
I see a sense of despair and a sense of hopelessness and a sense of fear. But I also remember feeling the same way during the civil war and the subsequent Taliban takeover in the late 90s when I was a schoolgirl. And the feeling when you have lost everything is very a feeling that is very close to me, and I know it very well. So I sympathize and I understand the feeling that women have. Now, this feeling makes you do a lot of things. And this feeling is partially based on facts, but partially based on the fear of unknown as well. We don't know what the Taliban are going to be doing, although they are clearly saying that they will allow women, they continue to provide women the right to an education, to employment. But when they categorize it as within the confines of Islam or Sharia law, then we don't know what do they mean by that, because obviously as Muslims we are not a homogenous group, as Afghans we are not homogenous, and we could interpret our rights in various different ways. So this opens an opportunity for restriction on women. But then there's also fear that is based on a lot of misinformation, that is based on things that are wider than the Taliban, what Taliban would do. And that makes people do things like burning their education certificates or other drastic activities. For example, we're hearing a lot about people trying to escape the country, and that is also part of this. We have, obviously, everybody has a right to go to a secure and safe place, but this uncertainty is pushing people to do drastic action, such as going into the airport, waiting, and trying to get on a plane without ticket and other arrangements. So we need to give the Afghan people a sense of normalcy. We need to give them answers. And we need to not only give them answers in rhetoric, we need to give them answers in action. And this is where the international community, the Taliban, other political actors, and leaders, so civil society leaders need to take action. We all need to clarify things. We all need to
Yes.
let that young Afghan girl know whether it is wise for her to burn her education certificates, or she should be hopeful for a better future, or she should see the potential role that she could play in changing the lives or the society for the better for other
We
girls.
have an Afghani student also on the show, but she's living here in India. She's joining me. Her name is Farzana. Her family is in Afghanistan. Farzana, there is a sense of anguish, despair, and there are reports of young girls burning their education certificates. That's certainly very disappointing.
Yes. Good evening. Yeah, thank you so much. You were talking about the current situation in Afghanistan. Of course, it's not good. The thing which achieved the women and the girls. I mean, all people in Afghanistan around 20 years. Right now, they are multiple to zero. And for me, as a girl or as a student in India right now, I have lots of stress because of my family, because of there's thousands of girls who are as like me only. They have lots of plan. They have lots of plan right now. I don't know what they will do. There is thousands of question mark for future of each and every member of Afghanistan and Afghanistan. So still there is India is behalf of Afghanistan. It wasn't during past 20 years, and right now we are expecting that government of India, like whatever did in the past, right now also should do for Afghanistan and stand behind of Afghanistan, because this time we really need the help of our friend countries.
So you want the governments to come and help you. You feel safer here in India. Here you are able to pursue your education. You don't have to wear burqa. You are a free person.
Yes. I have been in India. It's 2 years. I came in 2019 and I got a scholarship. Right now I'm safe. My accommodation, my everything is perfect. But still, there is thousands of girls who need help in Afghanistan, including my family, my sister, my mother. So for me as a girl, wearing burqa like this, which I'm looking right now, is okay. We don't have no problem. But the thing which this Mujahideen and Taliban is expecting with from us, it's really hard. How we can go with burqa and secure, in office and work. How we can go in university. How we were able to go without. See, they are talking that without men or male, girls should not go out of their home, which is not acceptable by this century, right?
Yes. So Diva, what does future hold for women in particular? You are saying that you will not be able to go to a stadium there in Afghanistan anymore and do your commentary or work from there. Is there a sense now that this country has changed forever?
There is thousand question mark for the future of Afghanistan women and all member of Afghanistan. Um, Actually, there is hope. Still, I'm hopeful. I have lots of plan between Afghanistan and India. I'm a student of international business, so we are working for that to do business between India and Afghanistan. Like 1 month ago, we had lots of plan, and I am a YouTube blogger, so I was planning to go all over Afghanistan and make a video blog in English and explore it for another people. But right now, these things are impossible for me to go Afghanistan to do this work. But still, there is a hope. I'm sure that Afghanistan people and the girls and women are all out together, and they are much brave to stand by these things, and they will continue.
Respond to that question.
I'm sure it will take time, but
yes.
But
respond to that question as well, Diva. Since you're joining us, you said that it will be difficult for a cricket presenter such as you to go back to Afghanistan now.
Well, at this stage, at the moment, right now, as I'm talking, yes, it is difficult. But as you can hear, a lot of girls from Afghanistan at the moment, they're all frustrated, panicking. They don't know what the future holds for them. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I am hopeful that the country will be in peace and we will be able to return. I don't have I don't want to lose my hopes. I do want to go back to my home. I want to help my country. I want to be able to invest there. I want to be able to go back to stadium and be able to present from there. I am hopeful. I don't want to go to my country and present there and at the same time have a fear that a suicide attack will take place. I don't want to have the fear that I can be shot. Even at the time when I used to go there, I had a lot of fear. I had to have a lot of guards around me to be able to get myself to the stadium. So I want to have all that fear to go away, to be able to go there to a peaceful country like any other countries around us. I think it will be very crucial for Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India as a relationship to bring that to a peaceful situation. Because I think if the neighbors such as Pakistan and India would be able to have good relationship with each other, Afghanistan will be a safe place.
Okay, let me get a quick word also from Farzana, and perhaps this is the last question on the show. I'm looking at the statement that was put out by the Secretary General of UN. He's saying that he's particularly concerned about the human right violation of women and children. Are the women looking up to the international communities, particularly the UN, so that they can be given some kind of direction, because women feel that they have been abandoned?
There have been some part of the deal that we failed, in some part the UN and US and the allies did. We failed in this situation that ended up to today. But I'm not blaming just foreigner for this. Our government, our people somehow played a role, especially the government. But the most thing happened because of the international forces and UN, all who were here in Afghanistan. They just should have feel a sense of responsibility about all Afghan. So they left us in a situation that Taliban could kill all of us. You know, here I just mentioned that we have to be here, but just want to mention that too, that no one is safe and we don't know what will happen. This is the risk that we are giving, and we are speaking up and we are talking about our people. So this is a high risk that could end up to life taking. And for the international community, I'm not not blaming them just for that. I said that they somehow let us all down, but there was a role for us as
Farzana, just hold on to your thoughts, because we have Miraka Popul. He is the head of Tolo News. He is joining me now. And this is the news channel in Afghanistan which resumed its broadcast with women anchors. Miraka, how difficult it is to operate now? You are the head of news. We are watching you hold editorial meetings. What has changed in the last 48 hours?
We here in Tolo News started our normal operations today, and we resumed our broadcasting by presenting to our female presenters, and we are trying to work as a free media, but we have not received any reactions from the Taliban. Based on our communication with the Taliban, they say that the free media can continue their work as usual.
So that certainly is an important piece of news, with women anchors being back on air. I would like to thank my guests, Farzana, Zohra, Diva, and Farzana, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. Of course, this was about women in Afghanistan, their struggles. Perhaps it will increase over the next few weeks and months. That's all from us. Thanks so much for watching.